You are about to see evidence-based modelling from Volunteer Fire Brigades Victoria and the University of Melbourne's Centre for Disaster Management and Public Safety, showing how CFA uses its huge volunteer capacity to handle any size of incident, anywhere, at any time. The spatial modelling looks at 5 days in January 2014, during which 1,600 incidents required 30,000 personnel deployments, over 95% of them volunteer firefighters. 16 incidents called on over 20 brigades, one required over 200. Some fires lasted for hours, some burned for weeks. Each red marker shows you an incident, the blue flags identify brigades sending crews and trucks to the incident, and the yellow lines connect each brigade's home location with the incident its crews are attending. You will see the name and details of some of the major incidents appear on screen, showing how some fires require responses by large numbers of deployments of fire trucks and personnel, particularly where there is a significant risk to the community. As you can see, it is not uncommon for CFA crews to travel significant distances to major fires, with many resources often drawn from the Greater Melbourne area, where the concentration of volunteer numbers is at its highest. As larger incidents will often occur during high fire danger periods, it is common that there will also be other incidents that require a significant immediate response. At the same time, the large number of trained volunteer firefighters allows each CFA brigade to continue to deal with other incidents in its local community. As those local calls come and go, the long-term incidents require crews for day and night shifts, and eventually replacement crews as each strike team comes to the end of its deployment. The Laharam fire, showing now, required responses from 211 brigades over 15 days. There were 163 fire trucks activated and over 1,300 firefighter deployments. CFA data shows over 99% were volunteers. At the same time, we had the Lancefield fires north of Melbourne burning for 3 days, a fire near Orbost in Gippsland called on 129 brigades, and a 9-day fire near Tallangata required close to 300 firefighter deployments in response. The Craigieburn fire, which appears here, only lasted 11 hours, but due to its proximity to the edge of Melbourne, 42 brigades were involved, with 61 fire trucks and over 250 firefighter deployments. The situation now intensifies. The hundreds of small fires continue across the state while the large incidents continue on. At this point, CFA brigades in outer metropolitan and country areas are calling on a large force of trained, experienced firefighters. You can only do this with a volunteer-based system, where even an integrated brigade with its small nucleus of career crews has scores of capable, qualified volunteer firefighters ready at any time. In this freeze frame, we show brigades from the Greater Melbourne area highlighted with yellow lines and other brigades tracked in grey. At the Albucatia incident in northwest Victoria, 17 of the brigades are from Melbourne and surrounds. Over 99% of the firefighters are volunteers. At Laharam in the far west, CFA activated more than 350 volunteer firefighter responses from the Greater Melbourne area. Many would have responded for multiple days. And at the Orbost fire in Gippsland, around half of the firefighters at this large, long-burning rural fire were volunteers from the Greater Melbourne area. And in this second freeze frame, we highlight brigades from the Greater Melbourne area at the time of the Hazelwood and Mickleham fires just 1 month later. Here is a closer look at the Greater Melbourne area at that time. It shows the considerable contribution of those brigades responding to the Hazelwood and Mickleham fires. This graph shows the number of appliances and crews deployed to incidents by day for the 2014 year. The first of the two large peaks you can see was the time period you saw on the animated map. These peaks occur every year, mostly in summer, but also at other times. This second graph charts how many incidents there have been each day in a fairly normal year, and shows these peak days spread right across the year, including autumn and winter. And on this third graph, the curving blue line shows the number of days on which Victoria needed more than 250 fire trucks in the field. Since 2001, the number of those days has more than doubled to over 200 each year. Those recent trends show a growing reliance on CFA mobilising thousands of highly trained volunteers to simultaneous long-duration emergencies, while also managing day-to-day service demands in their home communities. 97% of CFA personnel are volunteers. They are the bulk of the CFA firefighting force at any large long-term incident or day-to-day incidents across Victoria. As an example, in the case of major incidents, the volunteer capacity across the state can be rapidly mobilised, and often up to 40% of the personnel come from CFA brigades in the Greater Melbourne area. Maintaining volunteer capacity in Melbourne is vitally important for Victoria's ability to deal with large-scale emergencies anywhere in the state. CFA is a volunteer-based organisation with paid firefighters and volunteers working together in a fully integrated manner. 35 CFA brigades have career and volunteer firefighters, and just under 1,200 brigades are 100% volunteer. CFA brigades protect 60% of suburban Melbourne, regional cities and all of country Victoria every day and night of the year.